Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you
do. Welcome to Wrestle Hunks Weekly. We are very, very close to WrestleMania. We're getting closer by the day, by the minute, and it's all getting pretty exciting. I'm Brody Price, and as always, I'm joined by Nathan Marlowe.
Hello.
What's going on, mate? Are you excited?
I'm excited. It's WrestleMania season. All the good stuff's happening now.
That's it. So today it's the same old top 5 Twitter questions. We've got all the top news from this past week, so we'll get stuck into it. Monday Night Raw. Well, before Monday Night Raw started, we got the announcement that this year's WrestleMania would be main evented by the triple threat, the women's triple threat between Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, which is pretty big news. What were your thoughts on that when it got announced? I know we probably speculated that it was probably going to happen, but now that it's official, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, we probably all speculated it, but it's a big deal. I think the women deserve this. It's really good to see. I think it's about time, and it felt right, and I'm glad it happened, and they made it official.
Yeah, and it just made sense. Like, this has been in the making since, well, I guess November last year when Becky and Ronda, they were supposed to have their match at Survivor Series, but it didn't happen. So there's a lot of build going on. I know that a lot of people aren't too happy with how the build has been the last couple of weeks, but it's still the right choice to have this as the main event, I think.
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah. So you wouldn't have anything else main event ahead of this? This is the right choice. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have Seth or Brock or Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle.
So we'll get into Raw. These women actually competed in a beat the clock challenge for some reason. Ronda Rousey set the time of 1 minute 25. She beat Sarah Logan. Charlotte got Ruby Wright in the figure 8 and just couldn't get her to tap out before the time elapsed. And then Becky pinned Liv Morgan with a couple seconds to spare. So she ended up winning the beat the clock challenge for I'm not sure what.
The imaginary trophy.
Yeah, like, usually they have these when it's like whoever gets the quickest times, like the last person into a chamber, or Royal Rumble, or like they win something. So my thoughts on this were that they might have done this so that Becky Lynch technically beat Ronda at something, but Ronda still won a match, so Ronda hasn't lost. I guess that might be the reason.
Maybe, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on this segment? The sort of all cut a promo before the match, and then that was about 3.5 minutes combined of in-ring action.
Kind of unneeded, I think. Yeah. Why have a beat the clock challenge? What's the point? I get it.
Now next week they're teaming together, all three of them, to wrestle the Riot Squad. So that's.
Oh, so they'll probably beat them in 2 minutes.
So yeah, I know the Riot Squad. No one's really pointed that out. The Riot Squad just doing the job pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So after this, we saw Finn Balor beat Jinder Mahal and Bobby Lashley in a handicap match. He earns a Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania against Lashley. Do you really care at this point for this match?
Nope. Not one bit.
What I'm hoping is that he comes out as Demon Balor, and the same thing that he did to Corbin at SummerSlam. He just did it in like a minute, so we don't have to.
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, yeah. That's like the only thing that I can see that would make this enjoyable. Just make it really short and Finn winning. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it's not going to be the best match.
A match that was decent is Aleister Black and Ricochet defeating the Revival in an untitled match. The Revival they don't have a match yet for WrestleMania for their tag titles. Do you think they will get a match on the card? There's a lot of matches announced so far, but do you think they will have a match, and who against?
I think it's very late now. So I don't know. Maybe they take on Black and Ricochet, but other than that, I don't think anyone else, because I don't think they're going anywhere with the Major Brothers.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that seems like something they might. I don't even know if they will push it after WrestleMania, but if they do, it's not going to be. It won't happen next week. I don't think they don't have a lot of time to build anything apart from Ricochet and Black. Roman Reigns accepted Drew McIntyre's challenge for a match at WrestleMania, so that's been made official. Drew also I think he sort of pleaded with Roman to maybe not accept so that his family don't have to suffer through Roman being in pain again or something like that. But they brawled a little bit, and then Drew laid him out with a I think a low blow and then a claymore. So
Yeah.
Has this got you excited for this Roman Drew match?
Yeah, it should be a good match. I don't see an outcome where Roman Reigns does not win, but it should be a fun match, I think. Two big hosses going at it.
I mean, if you look at the opponents that Roman's had, from, what was it, 31, it was Brock and then Triple H. As Brock?
Taker,
then Brock, that's right. So, like, this is kind of a big deal to wrestle Roman at Mania, and
yeah, he's literally the big dog.
yeah. So, I mean, hopefully, I don't think Drew will win. It's Roman's big return singles match, so
yeah.
But if Drew comes out of it looking strong, then that's a positive going forward, I think. Where Sasha Banks and Bayley announced that they will defend their tag team titles in a fatal 4-way against the Iconics, Nia Jax, Tamina, Natalya, and Beth Phoenix. Sasha had a match with Natalya that was almost identical to last week's match. Tamina and Nia interfered, but this time Beth Phoenix laid out both of Nia and Tamina by herself, which was nice to see. Is there any part of you that's excited for the fatal 4-way match?
I'm excited for the first name you have there, the Iconics. But other than that, I feel like maybe that's why WWE did that. But no one wants to see Nia and Tamina, and I mean, it kind of protects Beth with a bit of ring rust. So I don't know. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, you can sort of hide Beth a bit more, but yeah, I'm the same. If the Iconics don't win, then I'm going to be kind of sad. Like that's the
and I don't see a scenario where Sasha and Bayley don't win.
Yeah,
especially with what else is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Some stuff happened that makes that pretty likely. There was a moment of bliss with Braun Strowman as the special guest. They also had the two dudes from SNL, Colin Jost and Michael Che. I've actually written their names down this week.
Nice.
They are going to be competing in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So far we've got 3 people announced. 2 of them aren't wrestlers. What are your thoughts on these two being in the Battle Royal?
Geez. It's good for Braun, I guess. Gets a bit of spotlight. I'm assuming he's going to win this. Yeah. I can't. Surely they're not going to let these two jabronis win. I don't know. It's just. I mean, if he gets a spot on SNL, that would be cool.
I'm now just thinking that. Is the Battle Royal not going to be on the pre-show? Because I thought that was going to be definitely on the pre-show, but would they put their SNL guys just on the main card, maybe? I don't know.
Depends. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably the Cruiserweight title will be on the pre-show. Yeah. I really don't know, actually. That's a good point.
Hopefully it is on the pre-show, because it's not a match I'm particularly looking forward to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, obviously there's something going to happen with Braun and these two that... You're right. It will give some mainstream exposure to Braun. I suppose this will be seen by people that don't obviously watch wrestling.
Yeah,
which I guess is positive. We saw Kurt Angle defeat Samoa Joe in what people were saying it was a decent match. I only just caught the highlights of it. What were your thoughts on this? Did you see any of this match?
Yeah, I saw some highlights too. I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was good from what I saw, but just because I'm just stuck in thinking of how Kurt used to work, and it's hard to look away from that when someone was so good, and he's so old now. But I mean, that's cool. We got to win.
I felt like they booked themselves in a corner a bit with some of these matches with Kurt, because like Joe's got a big match against Ray at Mania, and you want him to be looking like a beast, but you don't want Kurt to lose any of these matches. You want him to sort of keep winning on his way to WrestleMania, get some momentum. But you're right. Watching Kurt now, it's not the same, obviously, because of how many years he's been away from WWE, and he is getting older. But hopefully, I don't know, beats Corbin in less than a minute. That'd be ideal as well. I don't really want to see that.
Yeah.
Do you think there was any chance that they take Corbin out of that match? Because I know there were rumors that WWE was considering taking Corbin out and changing the match, but do you think it will happen at this point?
No, I don't. Not with the little time we have left, no.
Yeah. So Triple H cut a promo. He kind of goofy to start this promo, talking about the envelope he had in his pocket, and I don't know what he was talking about at some point, but he's agreed to put his career on the line against Batista, which makes this a little more predictable, I think. What are your thoughts on Triple H and Batista with this added stipulation?
Triple H read, tell me what I want, what I really want. That's what he was reading.
Yeah.
Does this just confirm that Batista's winning? They're losing, sorry?
Oh, I think so. Like, Triple H is definitely wrestling another 5 years, I think. So.
I don't see him retiring, so
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that stipulation. That's silly.
They already said, like, Batista's like, this is the last match I want. And now Triple H is on the line, so we know it's Batista's last match. Like, it's, I don't know. They need Triple H for the Saudi Arabian shows, so I don't see him.
It's true. Very true.
And in the main event, Drew McIntyre defeated Dean Ambrose in a last man standing match. By reports, it was a pretty fun match. Is this the last time we'll see Ambrose on Raw, you think?
No. There's still he'll have another match.
You reckon?
Yeah. He might have another match with Drew.
Yeah, that's true.
They have fatal Falls Count Anywhere, last man standing. Maybe they'll do a cage or something.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Maybe a cage. I mean, it makes sense. The two matches they've had have been pretty decent together, so
they're good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We obviously don't know what Ambrose is going to do once his contract runs out, but Drew looked like a beast here, so that's
yeah. The finish was good.
Yeah. Yeah, really good. It's tough. Like, you want Drew to look like a beast. Somehow he has to look really strong coming out of that match with Roman, but I don't know how they're going to do it. So SmackDown started with the New Day in the ring. They called out Mr. McMahon and pleaded to give the reason why Kofi wasn't getting these opportunities. Daniel Bryan came out and cut another good promo. He's doing some of the best work of his career. And then Vince said that, Kofi's a B+ player, but he wants to know if Woods and Big E are a B+ team. So they announced a gauntlet tag team match for the main event, and if New Day won, Kofi would face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. So this was good. Did you see any of Bryan's promo?
Vince created the New Day, and he can just get rid of them. Get three other guys from NXT and call them the New Afternoon, Fresh Afternoon. Sorry.
They throw waffles into the crowd.
That was good. This was good work by everyone all around.
Yeah, I thought this was really good stuff. And Kofi didn't say a word through the whole promo, which I thought was pretty powerful, because he was getting cheered and he was getting Kofi chants and he didn't have to say a thing. So people are invested.
Vince's like, yeah, you gotta quit. Yeah, you gotta quit.
Vince needs to be on TV more, because he's just making memes left and right. It's so good. So Becky sort of cut a promo backstage saying that Ronda is bringing the title to the match. Becky is bringing like the people or something, and Charlotte's not bringing anything to the match. So this led to Charlotte coming out and saying that she's about to prove something or something like that. She has a match against Asuka for the Smackdown Women's Championship for some reason. That just gets, I don't know, this sort of came out of nowhere. And Charlotte wins. Charlotte's the new SmackDown Women's Champion. What were your thoughts when this happened?
Jeez, I was shocked when I saw this yesterday. I don't even know how to react to it. It's just very clear that they didn't have any plans for the SmackDown title. I think that's what it says, but I think more than anything, it just shows Becky is winning, and all four of them are going to be holding titles. And that's what we kind of picked in the first place as Charlotte versus Asuka at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I was about to say. We've been saying it for months that the SmackDown Women's title, well, even for the last couple of weeks, that there's nothing like clear cut that needs to happen when they put Charlotte into the triple threat.
Yeah.
And now they've got this awesome women's main event on Raw, and they've sort of got no one for Asuka on SmackDown. So, they sort of booked themselves into a corner, and I guess
it's fine, because Charlotte losing, she technically has to go back to SmackDown.
Yeah, because Becky and Charlotte are both SmackDown wrestlers, and
Yep.
so I guess it does make sense. Like, if Becky wins, then she has a reason to go to Raw because she's the world champion. But
I think it's just the way they went about it.
yeah,
I could see if you're an Asuka fan, you'd be really angry.
yeah. Last year, her streak was broken at WrestleMania. Now she's not even getting a match, even though she was the champion 2 weeks before the pay per view. So
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks for Asuka, and it sucks for the women that were. It was originally supposed to be a fatal 4-way that we spoke about last week between Carmella, Naomi, Sonya, and Mandy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They just completely just forgot about that match and had this match instead. So
Jeez, I forgot about that too. Oh my god.
all 4 of them sort of tweeted about it. I can't remember off the top of my head what they said. I know Mandy said that they're pushing the wrong blonde or something like that, which was funny. But yeah.
I can't believe that. That's one to put down with the wrestling conspiracies.
So yeah, exactly. We'll we've got plenty. I think we've got questions about the women's title and the main event and all that. So we'll probably get to that a bit more later on.
Yep.
AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle ended in a disqualification after about a minute. I was kind of excited to see this, to see how they would work, and the start was fine. I was enjoying it. But Randy Orton hit an RKO on AJ, and then he was sort of stomping him down, and then Kurt hit an angle slam. It was a bit of a botched angle slam.
But was it?
Yeah, a bit of a botched angle slam, and that sort of ended the segment, which is, I don't know, this wasn't exactly what I wanted to see on Kurt's farewell tour, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, the match wasn't really anything, but I guess they did well with Randy coming in, because it would not make sense for Kurt to beat AJ.
I in my head before the match, I'm like, well, I think Orton should interrupt this match, but I was hoping it wouldn't happen a minute in.
Yeah.
A real chance to see AJ and Kurt at all, which is, it's obviously the only time we'll see it in a WWE ring, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the Miz challenged Shane McMahon to change their match to a Falls Count Anywhere match. Shane brought out security, and he also brought out Sanity, Primo, and Shelton Benjamin. Which
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they were in their gear. That's
A unique collection of superstars.
that's for sure. Yeah, so Miz sort of beat his way through the security guard, and he beat up Sanity and Benjamin and Primo through the crowd and stuff like that. So Miz is fired up. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match now. Are you at all excited for this?
No, and there's literally a reason why they've done this. It's just so Shane could take a bump off something.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. What's he going to jump off of? What do you think?
Whatever the set is.
Yeah.
Or if they have, like, I don't know, maybe even, have that, like, middle thing in the ring, the scaffolding.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
He's going to jump off the Statue of Liberty.
No, probably. I don't know. It's not got me excited for that match, I guess. I mean, the only thing is, I guess it could be a quick match if they do hardcore spots.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only. It might keep it entertaining. Obviously, Shane's not going to work a 5-star classic on the mat. Grappling.
Sure.
Like that. I mean, you never know. So the second hour was pretty much just the gauntlet match. We saw Big E and Xavier Woods defeat Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in a minute. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, they beat the Bar. The Usos forfeited on
That was a good moment.
which was awesome to see. And it made sense. Like, they had babyface tag team in there. Like, the babyfaces don't want to cost Kofi the match. And then
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan and Rowan are the last team. They beat them by 10. That was good.
Oh, that was a good moment.
Kept them strong. So now, yeah, it's official. Kofi Kingston will face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. I was a little nervous because they cut backstage to Vince in a limo. And Kayla Braxton, I think it was, interviewed him, and I was sort of like, oh no, he's going to throw another obstacle in for next week. But
Kofi Kingston.
he said, no, he's in, but can he beat Daniel Bryan? So, awesome moment. What were your thoughts on this?
A really good moment. That count out, everyone was just going nuts for that. I did think it was really awkward to put in all the wrestlers came to ringside.
I mean, they all
It's really,
stood
really
around
weird.
and slapped the apron. So
I don't know why they didn't clap. Why were they slapping the apron? Like, it wasn't like they were slapping it to the New Day Rocks thing.
that would have made sense. That would have been cool.
But it was a really good moment. I really liked the Usos thing. I liked the Daniel Bryan and Rowan match. I liked the tipping of the table.
Yeah.
Rowan had to kind of stall for Big E to foot the table.
Yeah.
I think Big E and Woods, before the Usos came out, they were selling like crazy.
Yeah.
Like they were dead. Just everything about this is really good, and I'm really excited for this match. They've done an exceptional job.
Do you think this is some of the best storytelling that they've done in recent years on the main roster?
This is up there with Daniel Bryan's bloody WrestleMania 30 story.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even like intentional.
Yeah.
Like this is probably some of the best intentional writing they've done for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. They sort of. It felt like they've had a plan going from week to week. Like they know what's happening in the coming weeks, which just doesn't always happen.
Yeah. How come we get this, but Asuka didn't have a match?
Yeah. Exactly. Like so they're capable of it. They know that they can. We know that they can book something like this.
Yeah.
For some reason, they don't always do it, but when it comes off, it's some of the best stuff to watch in wrestling. Yeah, really good. It was, and like you said, all the babyfaces coming out and celebrating with the New Day. That's a cool moment. So everyone's behind Kofi. It's going to be a big moment at WrestleMania.
I want him to wear his Jamaican gear.
Could you imagine if he comes out?
He is definitely not.
Yeah, probably not. But it would be.
But they probably will get a really good entrance.
Yeah, you would think so.
So I'm looking forward to that.
So is there anything you sort of want to go through Raw and SmackDown this week that we haven't mentioned?
Not really, but once again, SmackDown was the way better show.
Yeah.
Just like, what am I going to want to watch? Somebody and a really intense gauntlet match or a fucking beat the clock challenge that has no repercussions.
Yeah.
The only thing that saves Raw was the last man standing match, which I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, exactly. And 3 hours versus 2, like you're watching 2 hours of stuff that all of it's like matters. Like everything on the show.
Exactly.
It meant something. So
just no SNL hosts on SmackDown.
That's very true, actually. But yeah, so I think that sort of covers the major news this week. So we'll get into your news roundup now.
Yeah, well, the news roundup. There's nothing huge, but there is a lot to go through. So I'll just start from the top, and it's that Nikki Bella has announced her retirement.
Yeah, I saw a report. Someone's reporting that she's open to a return, and someone tweeted that like she's only been retired for 1 day. She's already fucking return. No, but she's obviously done a lot for the women's division, and people that would talk trash about Nikki Bella or the Bellas in general probably don't really know what they're talking about. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, both Bella twins have retired. It's a big deal. It's like a whole era gone.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
There's only Mickey James and Alicia Fox left.
Yeah, would you count Natalia?
Oh, Natalia. No, fuck Natalia. Oh, yeah, baby. So we'll go into the next piece of news because I don't really care for Nikki Bella that much. She did a lot for the business, but no, the times have changed. So there was a speculation that WWE changed Mustafa Ali's name to just Ali, and this has been confirmed. What do you think about that?
That sucks.
So stupid.
Just I don't know. I don't understand it.
His name literally had a meaning. I forgot what the actual meaning of it was. Like his name being Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, he tweeted it out, and I've forgotten it as well. Something like Chosen One or something. Like
It's Mustafa standing for Chosen One.
Yeah.
That's like, why just call him Ali? Might as well just call him Ali G.
I was watching NXT before, and because I was thinking about Aleister Black and Ricochet, how they're going up, and I'm like, well, at least they can't shorten Ricochet's name. But then I'm like, you know what? Vince might call him just Rick. Like that could happen.
Trevor.
He's just gonna call him Trevor.
And Aleister just Black.
Black, yeah. Like honestly, I hate it so much when they do that.
Like I'm still not okay with the Andrade. Still not okay with that. Like I still call him Almas.
That's the worst one. Like everyone called him Almas. Like did anyone actually call him Andrade?
No. It's Andrade Cien Almas.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not happy about that, and I really don't like that they changed that. And he'll probably be in the Battle Royal. That'd probably be the most likely spot.
Yeah, I think so.
But whatever. But we have some Hall of Fame news, and it's the Hart Foundation are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I think this is a good way to get Jim in because I'll be honest, I don't think he goes in by himself. And I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true.
I completely forgot to put that in the Raw news, but yeah, you're right. I thought about it as well, and it makes sense. Like he's sort of just known for that. Like really, when you think about it, I only know Jim Neidhart from the Hart Foundation, so it is a good way to get him in, I suppose.
Yeah, so that's good. It's a really stacked Hall of Fame lineup from when people didn't really give a fuck about Hall of Fame.
That's so Booker T, Shawn Michaels, and
Brett
are going to be 2-time Hall of Famers after this.
Yeah, and then they join Ric Flair as well.
And Triple H will eventually as well, now that he's in with DX.
He'll be in Buddy a million times. There'll be Evolution. The two-man power trip. So we've got some G1 Supercard news. April 6th. It costs $500 to buy. No, if we buy New Japan World, it's only $10, so that's all right. G1 Supercard taking place April 6th. Here's the lineup we have so far, though. You got your heavyweight champion Jay White against Okada, that'll be a fucking good match.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
This show just looks really good. We got also the Ring of Honor World Championship, Jay Lethal against Marty Scurll and Matt Taven in a triple threat ladder match. Yeah, just that, like that's making your show. You've got Naito versus Kota Ibushi for the Intercontinental title. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi. We've got the title versus title match. God versus PCO Brody King versus the Briscoes versus Evil and Sonata.
Yeah, they have a couple of these title for title matches, which is crazy. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's an absolutely stacked show. There's a triple threat match for the IWGP Junior title, and there's a Bully Ray New York City Street Fight Open Challenge. I was assuming that was going to be Flip Gordon, but he's injured, so damn. I'll get into that a little bit after. Bloody Rush versus Dalton Castle, Will Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb. There's also a 30-man Honor Rumble match. And Jushin Thunder Liger is the first announced participant. So that's going to be a huge show.
If you're I had a look. Someone put up the schedule of like events that are happening in New York, New Jersey, over the weekend, next weekend, and so many awesome shows. And then like you have Friday Night Takeover is going to be incredible as always. You would assume, and then this show is going to be so good. So just a lot of great wrestling.
So this is happening next Saturday, right?
This will happen. Yeah, Saturday,
6th of April.
Saturday over there.
6th.
It'll be Sunday for us here in Australia, and if you're in Japan, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. It's very tempting to get this one buy on New Japan World.
Yeah, I feel like we might have broken the system there. Please don't buy it on Fight TV because you're going to be spending $60. Just your 1 month subscription to New Japan World for $10. That's much easier.
I mean, I'm sure you can get a lot more out of that subscription too.
Yeah, everyone might stick around after that. That's a free plug, by the way.
It's true. Sponsor us. Also, the reason why Okada is facing Jay White is the Okada won the New Japan Cup. That was very low-key news. No one was talking about that at all. I think it was more that it's kind of boring that Okada won, and he was versing Sonata. I think everyone kind of wants Sonata to break out.
Yeah, I didn't really see the news. I saw something on Saturday, sort of saying like the final four, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I just completely forgot about it for a couple of days until I noticed that Okada won. I saw a photo with the trophy.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it too. I'll be honest with you, but I didn't forget about this. Conor McGregor has announced his MMA retirement. Did you see this?
I did.
And Finn says, "See you at Mania."
Yeah, he loves to be a troll, so that's good stuff. But I saw a Facebook post about it. I think it was by Bleach Report, so I had a look, and a lot of the comments were people saying, "Oh, he's going to go to WWE then." So the male Ronda Rousey, people calling him. So
yeah, I saw that. So we also have again, Ring of Honor announced that Flip Gordon has re-injured his right knee and won't be appearing at the Road to G1 Supercard show on Sunday. March 31st, which is coming up in 3 days. Footgun tweeted that his knee had completely locked up the morning after wrestling for OTT wrestling. So that sucks. I wonder what the extent of the injury is, though.
Yeah, because I remember he said he was cleared, didn't he, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, and then he had a match in Ireland. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, so we also have Oni Lorcan debuting on 205 Live.
That's right. He I guess he's going to be a heel because he attacked Cedric. So
yeah, which is different. It's good.
it's good.
Yeah, it is. Next up, we have JoJo and Bray Wyatt are expecting a child, and what they're expecting their child to do, I don't know.
Yeah, they've named him Kanash, which is cool.
Yeah, that was different. Buddy, little Kanash Nash. Cool. There's also a documentary that was released. Don't know. I think it was over the last weekend, but it's called Omega Man: A Wrestling Love Story, and it's been released on TSN in Canada, and it's a documentary about Kenny Omega.
I don't know much about this. It sounds.
It's like TSN is like their Fox Sports, so it's a pretty big deal. They've released. They're doing like a series on just Canadian sports people, and Kenny Omega got a gig. That's pretty cool.
He's up there for my favorite Canadians, so fair enough.
But I think it was Meltzer that wrote it. He said a little bit disappointing though. There was no mention of the AEW signing. This goes through pretty much everything, but except for that would have been like a good piece of news, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
See how hard it was to leave Ibushi.
Yeah.
But sorry. We've also got in UFC news. We've got Amanda Nunes will defend her bantamweight title against Holly Holm at UFC 239. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I know their names. I think so.
There are some big names. Amanda Nunes, or I'm pretty sure she defeated Cyborg,
and
which
Holly,
is
Holly Holm's the one that beat Ronda, right?
Yep. So it's a pretty big match. Also, WWE announced that a 7+ hour live stream of the greatest modern day WrestleMania matches will air on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube starting noon Eastern Time on Friday, March 29th. So that'll be 30th for us. The matches will range from WrestleMania 31 up until today. No, 21, sorry.
21 to 34.
Wait. Yeah, 21 to 34, I think, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So they've definitely made it clear that they don't want us to see the main event of 20.
We're not watching the best match from 20.
Exactly. Also, we have the first episode of Nikki and Brie Bella's podcast released today. Didn't even know they had one, but that was news.
I thought about downloading that. I haven't, but you never know.
That would be interesting just after what happened.
Yeah, I want to see what goes on. Let's talk about the dancing dude that she's dating now.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So also last thing, David Finlay underwent shoulder surgery today for his torn labrum. So his name's Finlay and he loves to fight. We'll get to my YouTube roundup. There's obviously some new up, down, down videos with Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze. The new Being the Elite, episode 144, C2E2. What did you think of that episode, Bryce? Did you watch it?
I did, and I'm trying to remember what happened on it, if I'm being honest.
It was kind of boring. It was just another filler episode. Not a whole lot happened.
Yeah, it's hard for them, I guess, not being on the road full time like they were. So they're not as much content coming through, I suppose.
It's definitely MJF versus Cody.
You reckon?
Oh, that's the feud they're going with.
Yeah.
Cody's angry at MJF. He said he's angry at him.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So next up we have Sheamus Celtic Warrior Workouts, episode 72 with Andrade Cien Almas. We're not saying Andrade. There's no new Samoa Joe vlog, so still, I actually looked at the views for that. His first one's got 220,000 views.
Jesus.
And the second one's got 92,000. So that's a fucking really good chunk of views. We have Demandy's Donuts, episode 29. You know, you're hanging on for this, aren't you?
I was.
That's at Uncasville. I don't know what that is, but it's at Carlos's Bakery, and they did it with Shelton Benjamin.
Jeez, big stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. He's like 50 years old. They're like 20. That's a nice pop dog.
Sorry, I was trying to avoid the mic.
Oh, what are you plugging there?
Just what is this? A bit of sparkling water, mate. I just found in.
Oh, is that the Mount Franklin in the can?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Just quickly on the Demandy's Donuts. Does that mean they're, because they didn't have the Fatal 4-Way, is their feud off and we can just focus on their donuts?
Probably. Well, like, what are you going to do? It's just like, surely they can't just like hold this feud off and then magically pick it up after fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, just don't catch up on Lana and Rusev's channel because it seems they have given up.
I mean, I don't really want to watch Lana just complain for 5 minutes, so...
No, they haven't released a video in 2 weeks now, so I think they've given up. There's a lot of backlash. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And yeah. Chelsea Green's channel is still kicking on. She has a few more videos about her recovery, and that'll do for the YouTube roundup.
I watched a couple of them. The one with Zack Ryder in it, but he wasn't really in it. It was like a minute long. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But
And you found her cute, didn't you?
Chelsea Green,
Yeah.
of course.
She's so nice.
She is. She seems like she is.
She's so nice, and I support her, and that's why I watch all the videos. Only for that reason.
I might have to as well then. I'll join.
So that's the YouTube roundup and the news.
So yeah, obviously we've got a big show in store next week, heading into WrestleMania, heading into NXT Takeover, heading into the G1 Supercard. So there's plenty to talk about next week. So I'm assuming that one
We might have a special guest.
we might. We are working on it.
We might not.
I don't know how much money we have in the podcast account to spend.
It's
on
true.
It. So we'll see what we can do, but hopefully. But so we'll just get stuck in. We'll get into this week's top 5.
Alrighty, well, I've got top 5 duty this week. And I'm going for the top 5 worst WrestleMania matches.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research. I looked around. I didn't agree with most of how the lists were like laid out. They were putting like shitty little tag matches as number 1, 2, and 3, and it's like no one remembers them really. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So I went with matches that had meaning, had impact. So I'm going number 5. Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon, WrestleMania 26.
Yeah, that one sucked. I remember watching that. I don't know how old I would have been watching that, but that was terrible.
It goes for 10 minutes.
It's pretty
No,
much
11 minutes.
It's pretty much just Bret hitting him with a chair, isn't it?
Yeah, and did you know why it had no bumps to Bret Hart? Do you know this?
Because of his injury? It's like the
Yeah, his insurance thing. So he wasn't going to take any bumps. So I think this match should have been like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But whatever. Number 4, I've chosen Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund at WrestleMania 11. Really bad match.
Have you seen this one?
I have seen this one, and it's really bad, and I do not recommend you watch it.
Which one's 11? Is that the one where the football guy's in the main event?
No, that's 12. 11's when they go back to the Caesars Palace. Go WrestleMania 11, Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund. It's at the Caesars Palace, isn't it?
No, that's the one with the football dude.
Is it?
Where is it? Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford Civic Center.
Jeez, which one am I thinking of? Number 3, I've gone for Boogeyman versus Booker T and Sharmell at WrestleMania 22. Do you remember this match?
I do, unfortunately.
It's terrible. It's god awful. Boogeyman sucks. He's like 60 years old when he made his debut.
Yeah, didn't he try out for Tough Enough and he lied about his age? He was like 20 years older than what he was or something?
Yeah, he was actually like 43 or something. Yeah, so that's just an indication of his career. Number 2, we're going Hulk Hogan versus Sid at WrestleMania 8. And is that in our poll for this week?
Yes, it is. It is.
So I have seen this before. It's really bad. It's clearly a Hogan past being popular, past his time, and Sid's just not on his game here. And yeah, it's just not good at all.
That's a good shout. While I think of it, go vote in our poll. on Twitter at Wrestle Hunks Pod, because I always forget to say that during the podcast, and then I don't know if you're listening to it early enough. I'm sure the poll will be up in a day or two.
Yeah.
Recording. So
That's true. So number 1, we've got Big Boss Man versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 15 in a Hell in a Cell. And this doesn't get high on many people's lists. I was looking at a few websites and their lists, and that at about 5, 6, and 7. I think it's number 1 just for the fact of how big Undertaker was at the time. He's versing Big Boss Man. The match sucks. It stinks. And it's a Hell in a Cell match too. I think all those factors, that's why I've chosen it at number 1.
And then they hang the Big Boss Man from the cell.
Oh, it's bad. There could be an argument. You could be like, oh, but you can say it for that. But what about Gonzalez versus Undertaker? And I say to that, no one expected that to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think all of these matches here, probably maybe the exception of the Boogeyman, they would have expected these matches to be fun or okay.
Yeah, like Hogan Sid, that seems like a big deal. That was like it was like a double main event they were calling it. So
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's your top 5 this week.
That's a good top 5, and who knows, we might have a special guest dropping in next week, like you said, doing their own top 5. So
It's true.
I'm hoping to get 2 weeks off in a row. That'd be nice. So yeah, now we'll get stuck into the Twitter and Instagram questions. Before we get stuck in, if you have any questions you want us to answer or any suggestions, please contact us at WrestleHunksPod on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to get in contact with us directly, Nathan's at Nathan Marlowe on Twitter, and I'm at Evil Brody Price. So I've just got a couple here on Instagram that we'll get stuck into.
Yep.
So at the Shield 911 wants to know: will WWE unify the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships at WrestleMania?
No.
Yeah, simple answer is no. I think
It's not for the title.
Yeah, I think we've sort of already mentioned it, but the closing shot of Becky as the Raw champ, Charlotte as the SmackDown champ, Bayley and Sasha as the tag champs, the 4 horsewomen
In the main event, yeah.
This historic women's main event with the 4 that sort of started it, I guess, in a way. Yeah, I think that's a good way to close it out, and I can't see them unifying.
I get why people. I saw that heaps of people said that. Are they unifying the titles? No, it's not even on the line. They made it clear it's not on the line. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I get why people might think so because there's 2 champions in it.
Yeah, but the women are at the top of the game. Why would they reduce them to 1 title?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So the short answer for at the Shield 911, no, they're not going to unify the titles. At Grumpy Cat Cox wants to know: do you like Ember Moon?
Yes. And you know what I love about Ember Moon? I love people selling the Eclipse. I saw a video during the week of people selling it really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. Liv Morgan does a good job. So does Alicia Fox. I like Ember Moon.
This is one of my favorite questions. This is good stuff. This is what we want from these Twitter and Instagram questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do like Ember Moon. I'm with you. I remember whatever her first takeover match was. I remember when she hit the Eclipse. I was like, all right, I'm sold. That move is so good.
But give her 3 years and she won't be doing it though.
Yeah, I don't know how long she can keep doing that for.
Well, fuck your ass doing that.
Yeah. But it is an awesome move, and she's entertaining. She was great in NXT, and she hasn't had obviously a huge push or anything like that on the main roster yet. But once she gets back from her injury, I'm looking forward to seeing what she does.
Yeah.
And the last question we've got is at Yellow Card Submission. Do you think Randy and AJ will steal the show at WrestleMania?
There's too many matches to say, but I think it'll be top 3 match on the card.
Yeah, I think AJ is a known big time performer. He always has great matches, and he somehow got one of the WrestleMania 33. One of the best matches on the card was AJ versus Shane McMahon. Somehow that.
Yeah.
So I have full faith that AJ with a guy like Randy Orton will be tearing it down, and hopefully they get enough time. But just a little precursor to next week. My prediction is Randy Orton winning with a RKO out of a springboard phenomenal forearm. There's no way they don't do that, surely.
They can do it, and he still kicks out.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, that's good.
So we'll get stuck into your Twitter questions.
Yeah, I've got 4 on my Twitter. I got one from Wrestle Hunks Pod, and I'm assuming it's Brandon. Do you think it's disrespectful that JoJo and Bray aren't going to name their kid Husky? And I agree. Disrespectful.
I mean,
shitting on a business.
It's better than Kanash, I think.
I agree. So, thanks for your support, Brandon. We've got one from @itsme Squidman, and he says, "When will D'Lo Brown be in the Hall of Fame?" I'm gonna say, I don't know, 2-3 years.
Do you reckon he gets in?
He'll get in. I think he gets in. He was a double champion for a very long time.
Yeah, you're right. He probably will at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sort of.
He's a really nice guy.
If he's on good terms with the company, then he probably will at some point. But
so I don't know about you, but when I see D'Lo Brown's name, I just start like tilting my head. So like, I just start doing that. But I think he'll go in.
You have to do the head wobble for sure.
Yeah. And I think he'll go in, but when it's very, very hard. He's a mid card guy. Like it's not even in between. It's not even like he was a lower mid card or he was a higher mid card. He was always just normal mid card. So I guess it's kind of hard to choose with those kind of guys. But guys like Koko Beware have been inducted. So, So next question from @William Kliski. And he asks, could Charlotte winning the Smackdown Women's title potentially lead to her being removed from the Raw Women's match and have Becky versus Ronda and Charlotte versus Asuka at WrestleMania?
No, because they're not going to have 1 week of build to Charlotte Asuka, and especially the amount of build they've had towards the triple threat. And, I mean, Charlotte was on ESPN this week with Becky and Ronda talking about it. They're not going to.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on you, William, but that's a stupid question.
No, there's no stupid questions. We just got asked if we like Ember Moon. So,
hey, that's a good question. And lastly, @Cena Section, big boy fan of the podcast. He says, "Do you see my lad? I'm assuming that's John Cena, making an appearance or wrestling at WrestleMania?"
I think he'll probably make an appearance.
I don't see WrestleMania where he doesn't make an appearance.
Yeah, it would feel wrong without having Cena on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the one year he was hurt with 32, he still came out and helped team with The Rock against the Wyatt family. So, yeah, I think he'll be there in some form.
Maybe him and The Rock will come out for Elias's performance, like they did for they had the match with Eric Rowan.
I mean, I'd like them both to join in with Elias and help him get through.
Kumbaya. So that's my questions.
Well, that sort of does us up for this week. Like we said, next week the big show, not Paul White, but our big WrestleMania weekend preview show will be up. I'm sure we'll cover pretty much everything. Like I said, the Takeover, G1, the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania. I'm sure we'll have it all covered. Hopefully, a special guest. Nathan and I will keep working on that. Is there anything else you want to cover before we go?
No, not really. I think we touched base on everything, so I think we did a good job.
Exactly. We always do a good job. But
exactly.
Make sure you rate, subscribe, and share the podcast. You can find us a number of ways: iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram @WrestlingPod, like we mentioned before. And yeah, I'm on Twitter @EvilBrodyPrice. Nathan's on Twitter @NathanMarlowe. So until next week, stay hunky.